Right, welcome to Your World. My name is Olive Barrow, sitting in for one Winnie Lubembe. And this morning we're discussing holiday travel expenditure, how to budget for travel amid this tough economic times. And with me in studio, I'll start ladies first. We have Brenda Gatonye, and she is a travel expert with Sturt Africa. And we'll also have Ken Saina, travel consultant, SY Voyage Africa. Travel is viewed as a leisure activity. Of course, there's the whole mental health aspect that is associated with it, peace of mind, change of scenery. But in these tough economic times, it's also often the first thing that's crossed off the list. Is not considered a priority. Brenda, what do you have to say to those people today?
So, yeah, my name is Brenda Gatonye. I'm a travel consultant at Sturt Africa. And actually, travel is very important, especially at this time, at the end of the year. It gives you time to refresh, recharge for the new year. So I think we'll be talking a lot about that, how to budget yourself, how to make it possible at the end of the year.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I was attending a forum on financial literacy for women, and some of the ladies I spoke to said they from the beginning of the year they put some monies in the money markets, and so that the money, the whatever they get, the returns they get now is what goes towards travel. But Ken, why does travel matter at this point? Because people are like, hey, I'm a footer, I can barely put food on the table. Now you're telling me to start thinking about traveling.
All I can say is that when you consider the difference between the fuel that you fuel your car and the fuel that you are going to use a plane, you can find that using a V8 is more expensive than when you travel using a flight. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are cost-friendly options.
Yeah.
For traveling. Perhaps you can give us you can give us an idea of what those are, Brenda.
First of all, when you want to travel at the end of the year, I always advise you should have a savings plan. You have an idea that at the end of the year you'd want to travel to a certain place. So you should start saving early to avoid that one-time use you get. So if every month you have a certain amount you're supposed to save for December, to avoid that during December you're going to spend a whole 100,000 from December. That won't work. But at least when you have a saving plan from January, February down to the whole year, it will make it easy for you to travel during that time. You can't just wake up and say, today I'm going to Dubai. It can't happen, especially at this time. But at least when you've started saving slowly, either weekly or a monthly plan, it's going to help you a lot for travel. Yeah.
Okay, so Ken, is it cheaper? Is travel cheaper if you plan ahead?
All I can say is that everybody always has a target on the day you want to travel. So I can say when there is a target, you don't really need to save. But if you don't have a target when you want to travel, you can save it, then you travel later. Because you can travel for, if you want to experience Christmas, for winter, for Christmas, you can travel.
Okay,
yeah.
So for those of us who are here at this point and we have not planned in advance, what advice do you have for us if we'd like to travel?
Actually, there are places that don't need that much saving. You can just take your family for safari. There are places that are so cheap, or let me just call them affordable. Yeah, they're affordable. You can just take your family out for safari. You don't have to go to Dubai or Maldives. Yeah, you don't have to wait for that time till you afford that heavy budget tourism. You can just get out, go out for lunch. It's still a holiday. Yeah, you don't have to, if you haven't saved and you can't afford that big holiday this time, just make sure you do something small. But later in future, if you ever want to travel, I always advise, it's very nice to start saving early. Yeah, it's nice to start saving early. So actually when I'm talking to people about traveling, I always I have to know your budget. For you, maybe going to Dubai or Maldives is not expensive, but to someone else, it's a 10-year goal. But there's someone else who going to Masai Mara is a very big plus. It's a step ahead, it's a goal for them. So I have to know what's your budget, what's your target, what's your preference, what do you want to, where do you want to travel this time. So at least when I know what you want, how much you're working with, I'll be able to advise on the location. Are we doing it locally? Are we doing it internationally? I can be able to give you even packages. You know, there are different packages. There are couple packages, there are family packages. Maybe as a company or a group, you're supposed to go out. I can advise on the package of groups you get. So once I get to know your budget or your preference, I'll be able to advise on more about it. Yes.
Okay. Is it cheaper to travel in groups, Ken?
Yeah, it's cheaper to travel in groups compared to when you're going as an individual or when you're going as a couple. So if you are going as a group, there's always a discounted you going as a group compared to you going as a sole person. If you can compare, let's take the Land Rover or the van. So when you go as a group, when you are inside that car and you are alone, you find you will need to pay more for the people who are supposed to there to fill the car. So that's the difference between you traveling as a group and you going as a person.
Okay,
yeah.
So it makes sense that I'm assuming there are some packages that if somebody would like to travel, that they can join a group through an agency, for instance.
Yes.
Brenda?
Yeah. Yes, what happens when you're going to travel, of course, you already have an idea the place you're going to. Let's say going out for a safari drive. It's even weird to do it alone. You get? Mm-hmm. It's okay to maybe go on a solo date, go for dinner, lunch alone, that's okay. But going for a whole drive alone doesn't make sense. But now when you go and look at the packages of the different places you're going to, you'll find that they're cheaper and it will even be fun. The whole point of this holiday thing is memories, having fun. So yeah, so we are able to advise you to choose, like if it's a group, I'll advise on the activities. If it's a couple, I won't tell you, yeah, you can go for drives, but some place with a hotel, with a sunset, swimming pool, you get, we are able to show or advise you more on the place that you'd want to travel according to the number of people you're traveling with. Yes.
Okay, so Ken, for a lot of us, we have very set destinations when it comes to the holidays. Yeah. Mombasa gets, Mombasa is already flooded, but usually gets flooded with people, not water, around the festivities. So are there, do people miss out on a lot on discovering new places that they can discover with the right information?
Sometimes we really can't dictate how the nature is going to be bear with us. But there is also, I just recently, there was a floods in Dubai as well. So it affects travel as much as you want to go there, you experience floods. But it's okay if you want to go and experience floods there. But of course, there's always a difference between places and nature, of course. If nature is good on our side, discovering places is perfectly good.
All right. Brenda?
On that, I think we should encourage people to keep tabs to the recent trending things. We don't have to go to Mombasa every time. You know that notion of Diani. We don't have to go to Mombasa. There are new places that are coming up, the so-called hidden gems. Yeah, there are new places coming up. You don't have to flood in one area. December, everyone, the flights are full, hotel bookings are reserved, all of them. You don't have to go to that one place that you're used to. Just do your research. There are places that are even more affordable than that Diani, and they're actually maybe even outside the country. You see what you'll be spending in Mombasa and what you'd spend in Dubai, it's almost the same, especially when you work with an agency. You know, agencies come with the packages, with the discounts, etc. So to avoid that, get into a place where it's so flooded, you won't have to enjoy. You can do your research on your own and get to know what's trending, where else can I go. That will give me the same satisfaction that I would have gotten in a place like Mombasa. Yeah.
I mean, even with travel agents, they know the popular routes, like you mentioned, Masai Mara, Diani, and all of that. Can I go to a travel agency and they'll give me my options where these hidden gems are concerned? Ken?
Yeah, of course we have hidden gems, as Brenda has said, and when we say the difference between you going to Mombasa and maybe you traveling to Zanzibar, the cost of you're going to use in Mombasa will be slightly higher.
Really?
Yeah, going to Zanzibar. If your arrangement or your plans are arranged well. So, and also, because there are other countries you can explore, you can try to explore other countries as much as possible. You can explore even South Korea. You can explore New Zealand. If you want to go there and enjoy your moments, there is also Seychelles. There are a lot of countries you can enjoy you going traveling than you staying in your own country of residence alone. Yeah.
But I mean, because for I don't know that it's a Kenyan thing where we wait till the last minute and then we're like, Allah, what are we doing? This holiday, remember when Safaricom guys were subscribing for shares, and then the other day guys are registering their SIM cards. We all tend to wait until the last minute, then we form queues. So I mean, so my options are limited if I haven't planned in advance of where I can go, because I'm guessing some of these destinations would require me to get a visa or similar things.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, actually, when it comes to that, remember there are visa-free countries. There are countries that you can travel without the need of the visa, but of course there are documents that you need to plan ahead. You can't start applying for a passport in November and you're planning to travel in December. So that's where we come in. And that's why I bring the point of planning prior, or having that savings plan from January to December. The same way you can't just wake up and say, I'm traveling outside the country. So when you come to us, we are going to help you. Different countries have different requirements. You'll find that the destination you're planning to go even needs some medical checkups. They need you to have a COVID certificate, etc. They need you to have that visa. You can't just wake up and say, Leo naenda. You have to plan prior. And now that's where we come in. We help you know which requirements you need for which country, when you should. You know, some medical checkups, you can't do them 6 months prior. You have to do them maybe towards when you're traveling. Yeah, so that's when we are able to tell you, so that you can plan well. You can come visit me in January, planning to travel August. So by the time it's July, everything is sorted, your documents are fine, your money is well. You also have to know which country, you know, when it comes to even flights, you don't just carry any luggage. There are countries or flights that require you to have a certain amount of luggage, blah, 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 you get. So we are able to advise on all that. Yeah. Okay, so I'd like us to take a break, but when we come back, 2 questions for you guys. Travel expert, travel consultant. Yeah. Why should I go through an expert or a consultant if I have the internet? Can't I just Google and get all this information for myself? And then tips and tricks this holidays. If I would like to save money, given your expertise in this area, what would you advise me to do on the other side of this break?
Welcome to the Nation Shopping Festival, the biggest soko sale in town, featuring 500 vendors ready to bring you the best deals and products. Discover everything you need under one roof, including a dedicated kids playing area and a tempting food court with mouth-watering delicacies. Visit www.nationshoppingfestival.com for more information and join us at the University of Nairobi grounds from 4th to 9th December. Make this holiday season extra special with the Nation Shopping Festival.
Such has been Italy's national team in recent years. Unpredictable and dipping to the lowest lows while rising to the highest highs. It has been more than 3 years since Cristiano Ronaldo left Juventus, but the goal-scoring veteran is not prepared to leave behind his money. But there was also the hope and the dream that another opportunity would arrive for Albania to play on one of football's big international stages.
My name is Mokgweetsi Masisi. I am the current president of Botswana. I want to heartily welcome you to my country when you come to attend the Kusi Festival in December this year. And here you will find a warm-hearted people who will embrace you, welcome you as fellow Africans, and take you on a journey to discover our culture, our food, culinary delights, and our nature. Prolific as it is, we also have diamonds in abundance for a small fee. We also have the natural species that you might enjoy. And we have a people whose culture and whose politics, whose governance has resulted in Botswana being what it is now. Come here and find out who we are, and we'd love to have you.
Always fresh. Nivea Fresh Deo. Now with new InfiniFresh technology. Antibacterial power with 48-hour protection and long-lasting freshness. Nivea Fresh Deo. Feel fresh in every moment.
The Sport Essence is a light serum, quickly absorbed to clear dark marks. Rich moisturizing cream is a gel cream type that deeply hydrates and prevents dark marks. I highly recommend Melano CC for healthy and happy skin. Roto.
Thank you for staying with us on Your World. My name is Oliver, sitting in for one Winnie Lubembe, and with me in studio I have Brenda Gatonya, who is a travel expert with Worth Start Africa. I think I said it really fast the first time around, and then I might have winged, so people may not have caught it. We also have Ken Saina, who is a travel consultant, SY Voyage Africa. Did I pronounce that right, the SY, or is it SI?
It's Sai.
Sai, Sai Voyage Africa. There was a question I asked before we took the break, which is, why would I come to an expert or a consultant when I'm planning travel when I have all the information I need literally at my fingertips with the internet?
I think things with visa applications, you can go through it through the internet, but there are people who don't know to go about the whole process. That's where we come in, because we can help you through that whole process of visa application, the requirements that you need, and also when it comes to things like flights and hotel bookings, you'll need assistance also. So yeah, that's why you need to work with a trusted travel agency, because you know what is happening in this current world. You can trust an agency and then things happen at the end. So you have to work with a trusted agency that will help you throughout the process and will make sure at the end of the day you've enjoyed your holidays. Yeah.
Ken, isn't it more expensive to go through you guys?
I can say it's not expensive to go through us. If you choose us as a travel experts or consultants, we advise you on the places that you need to go, and these places that you need to go they have to be booked prior your travel. So if you choose us as a travel agency, we come in at the part that you have to also, as Brenda said, you have to apply for your visa as well as your passport. So we come in as an agency to assist you in getting this your travel plans go through us. We book for you the flights. We assist you in booking the hotels. We can assist you also in facilitating for your visa. It doesn't really, if you choose us, it's okay when you see it on the internet, but if you get somebody who is familiar with how things will go, it will be easier for you.
All right, but if you have Airbnb app on your phone, you have, I usually see booking.com. I've never used it, but I see it when you're looking up venues, and travel advisor, so you get a sense of the best places to visit and such. Has that made your work a little bit more difficult, Brenda?
Actually, the same way you've said, you've seen them, but you've never used them, right? Most people have seen
I have
them.
used Airbnb. Okay. And I go to TripAdvisor to get a sense of, to look at the reviews and get a sense of whether this is a good place to go or not.
Exactly, they give you the idea, but when you come to doing it on the ground, trust me, many people will trust that one-on-one. You get. I actually advise so many people, first go through the internet, get to know new places, get to know all these things. But when it comes to actualizing or doing that whole thing, they prefer talking to us travel consultants. You know, we've been here for long. We know the do's and don'ts when it comes to this process that the internet won't show. You know, everyone, the website is created by maybe a hotel. They're selling their best. They have to sell either way. But as a person, I'll have to tell you the advantages and disadvantages of doing this and this that the internet won't show at that time, because they're selling what they're selling. You get. So as a person, I'll be able to tell you everything, and it's easier to even trust me when we're talking than just going and seeing something online. You get. And it makes it smooth. The whole point of using a travel agency is to make your process smooth and easy than doing it all alone. From the hotel bookings, the air tickets, you know, when it comes to booking of flight tickets, you just can't wake up and choose a date. We're going to advise. There are times when there's high peak and there are times when there's off peak. When it comes to booking a ticket, I'll also advise if you can have a flight that has one stop rather than having a direct flight, it's going to save some money. You know, the whole point is saving something. You get. If you're okay to spend like an hour or 30 minutes in a different airport just to save that few dollars, it makes sense. But when you go to the internet, it's just going to give you the price of the tickets. It won't explain why. But when you come to me, I'll be able to tell you the reason why this flight is cheaper is because there's one stopover, but the reason this one is more expensive, it's because it's a direct flight. And according to your budget, I'd love to know if you're okay to just not even waste. It's using 30 minutes in a different town that you hadn't even budgeted for. So it's a plus. You get. Yeah, I'll be able to advise on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ken, let's say I said planning my travel a year ago, right? The value of the dollar then was 120. The value of the dollar now is over 150.
Yeah.
So whatever my budget was, it has, by virtue of the exchange rate, gone up. So, I mean, how do you accommodate me in such a situation?
Okay, the reason why we come in as an agency is first, when you're planning for your travels, when you're booking your flights, you need an agency to guide you through the cheaper flights. The flights that you need, the rates of the flights are always different according to your travel plans. You can say you can book KQ today, you can find KQ is a bit cheaper today, but you can find maybe Ethiopian Air is a bit expensive this day, but the next day you come, you find Ethiopian Air is a bit cheaper and KQ is a bit cheaper. So the earlier you book your travel arrangements, and the reason why we come in as a travel agency is to guide you in terms of bookings, in terms of reservations, and what you need you as a person. Yeah.
I'll pose the same question to you, Brenda.
When it comes to that, if you're not ready to add some money to fill that exchange difference, I think you should be flexible. If the money you have now can't get you to Dubai, but you're okay with Diani, let's start with Diani. You get. You can just
no,
be
but
flexible.
we have booked tickets. We have looked at
if it starts
whatever activities that we can do in Dubai. We have booked hotels. Now you want me to go to Diani?
No, we can just reduce the number of days. If you don't have the money to add, of course, you know, if you count from January till December with that dollar difference, it's a lot of money. If you hadn't budgeted for that, if we had talked of 6 days, you can reduce them to 4 days.
Okay, but
Yeah.
if I paid for a package, my package stands.
If you have already paid, then why are you troubling about the dollar?
Okay,
You don't
okay,
need to use
all right.
money.
Okay,
You had already
okay.
paid. But if you hadn't paid for everything, you can just reduce the number of days. But if you had made your reservations, everything fully paid, I think you're sorted,
You're
even when
sorted.
the dollar
So that's
changes.
now the other benefit of
booking prior
booking early.
and planning earlier.
All right. So
Yes.
now, given the tough economic realities, I still have school fees to think about, although I think many people who are traveling pay their fees first, they buy the books first and the uniform, and then now whatever is left now they go ahead and explore with that. But what are the tips and tricks you've learned in your trade, Ken, that can assist me save as much as I can?
Okay. The reason why I said when you come in earlier for your travel plans, because you always have a target and you always have that end of this year I have a target, I want to go somewhere. So when we say, when you come in now, parents want to, on a semati, they want to in terms of fee and everything, to reduce the expenses of going to use as traveling, these things you make it as early as possible for you to enable you to travel on that date. So when you say, you always have a target, when you say you want to travel somewhere, if you want to go to Diani, of course, you can't stand in today and say I want to go to Diani tomorrow. So you always have a plan on how you're going to travel.
Okay, already Brenda, you gave us one, like you could make a stopover, which could bring down the cost of the ticket.
Yeah.
Aside from planning early, what else?
Also,
what other advice do you have for us?
About the group packages, people don't know the discounts hidden in the group packages. Yeah, if you want to go as a couple, as two people, wait for Valentine's. You know, there's that. There are more discounts during that time for couples. But when it comes to holidays, I prefer you choose traveling as a family or as a group. There are so many discounts. If you do your math, you can just, you see the same way you go to the supermarket and say 6 smokies are 800. How about just try do that in your head when you're choosing the packages, and it's so much discounted. So I always advise use the group packages. Also, when it comes to the flight we've talked about, also the booking prior, that's a plus. Because if you check a date or the price of a flight 2 weeks to your travel and 1 month to your travel, there's a very huge difference. There's that. Also, I think just do a lot of research. Some places are overrated. You can get a place that will give you the same satisfaction. It's not that known. That's why I really love even when I see reels or videos about hidden gems, I really love exploring to those places. They're not as common, they're not as famous, but when you'll get the same feeling, the same satisfaction to those places. So I'll just advise you on such places. Yeah.
Okay, what about the option of staycations? I live and work in Nairobi. Perhaps I don't have the budget to take me to the Maldives or to Dubai or to Diani. In my locality, what are my options, Ken?
Okay. When we say that you want to have in localities, there are hidden places you can explore locally, compared to you wanting to go maybe to somewhere else, maybe to Zanzibar or Maldives. So at the end of the day, you always have to have something that's going to accommodate you in terms of your expenses. Yeah. So you can always travel to the place that gives you satisfaction pertaining what can I say, in terms of the money you have in your pocket. Yeah.
So I can come to you, Brenda, and say, there's this hotel I've been walking past or driving past or nikiwa kwa mathiri ama kwa basi napita naiona naiangalia nasema hii place inakaa poa. So can I come to you and find out, are you able to book me into the hotel, and what deals might they have available?
Of course, you'll just come and let me know. Maybe if you want it in the woods, you know, some people love hiking, camping, and other people prefer just staying in a hotel. So at least when you have an idea of what you want to do or your preference, I'll be able to give you different hotels, different locations on what you want. Yeah, so if you have an idea of what you want to do, you have the money, of course, I'll be able to advise. Yes.
All right, and do people come to you and say, you know what I enjoy doing, like you're saying, maybe it's hiking, and you give me my options based on my interests, or maybe I like shopping and I want to go somewhere where I can shop a lot for less money. You know, are those some of the things you take into account when you're curating these packages, these travel packages, Ken? Okay.
When you say that, that's why I said earlier, you always travel according to how your pocket is, and we always advise you on how you as a person is able to travel. Like Brenda said, when you travel as a group, There's always those hidden packages that they are always there. And when you also go to somewhere or a hotel, when you go there as a group, there's always a discount for the people you are, discounted people you have than comparing you going alone. You'll find it a bit
So when you
higher.
say traveling as a group, do you mean I come with me and my squad, or already the people who have already expressed interest in traveling as a group and then you bundle me in with them?
We advise you as if you want to go there as of course, maybe you have your friends you want to travel them there, and then maybe there's a group we have, and we can chip you in according to how you will prefer. Yeah.
Okay. So we've had a lot of stories, especially people coming back into the country, of harassment at the airports. So what advice do you have for us in terms of what I should take with me and what I should bring back with me, Brenda?
So I think they should be, it's more of the policies with the airports. They should have a clear cut on what is expected and what is not. Because I've seen an incident where a tourist had so many perfumes and they thought, I think they are for sale or something like that. You know, it's something that us as an agency, we don't have control over. The airport should have a nice cut, the cut line between what is expected of you and what is not expected of you. With that, most people will be able to know. But things that you can control, maybe when it comes to the weight of your luggage, all that we advise. And also, the same way you had said, if you're going out for shopping, which countries to advise on. Some people are watu wa biashara. You'll go have fun, but at the end of the day, you want to bring goods into the country, maybe for selling. We'll advise on shipping companies that can help you, or the right airlines that can help you with that. If there are things that are in our control, we always advise. But things that are out of hand, out of our control, we can't really do anything about them. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also to add on that, as Brenda said, some of the airports, you know, you find somebody wants to go there as a business person, yet you personally want to go there as a tourism. You find that you have the documents of going there as a business, yet it states totally that you are going there to visit there for tourism or for leisure. So that's why we come here as an agency to advise you on the documents you need to, the papers you need to give out at the airport for you to travel, they enable you to travel there.
All right.
Because you'll always find immigration personnel at the airport.
Okay. Yeah. There's some destinations like that you said, like somebody would need to get a visa in advance. What advice do you advise your clients on how to go about the visa interview?
Yeah, so there are countries that have the interviews, others don't even need the interview. You just need to present yourself for biometrics and you'll get your visa. So we help with that visa facilitation. And also there are countries that their visa processes take time. There are countries that when you start your application today, your visa will be out in the next 3 months. So if you hadn't started early, your visa will come when your date for traveling has expired. So we get to advise you on the timelines that this visa takes, this visa facilitation takes. And there are also other countries that don't even require that visa facilitation. As long as you have your passport, you have your right documents, you can go into the country. Yeah, so that's where most of the time when it comes to traveling for holidays, that's where we play part a lot about the visa facilitations. Exactly.
All right. Is there data that shows it's like, do you guys rely on data on, for example, is it cheaper to travel at night than it is to travel during the day and things like that?
I can't really say that it's cheaper to travel either daytime or nighttime, because most of this the difference is if you get to book your ticket earlier, and if you get, for example, when you're traveling to maybe Kisumu, you cannot book your ticket today and you want to say I want to go in the evening. You'll find it's a bit expensive. But now when you say I want to book it earlier, you'll find it's a bit fair for you to book the ticket. Yeah.
Okay, so around this time, people are traveling as families. I don't know what advice you would have for them, Brenda, as they embark on their holidays, on how they can save 2-3 coins.
Okay, right now, actually, what I'd advise, you should research on the climate of that country. Most of the time this time, like in Kenya, Mombasa, it's summer most of the time during December holidays. But now it's flooding. You know, if you had planned to go to Mombasa and you wanted to enjoy the beach, it's a bad idea to travel right now. So what I'd advise, as you're going to travel to a different country, first look at the climate, also look at the safety. Something else is the religion. You see, for example, our Muslim sisters and brothers, you need to know the places you're going, the food they serve, are they halal, etc. You know, there are things a lot of things you should consider when it comes to traveling. But with us, we're going to be able to guide you on such things. You know, that comes to the preferences, that comes down to preferences, like it's a lot. Yeah, you have to know, you have to keep into consideration a lot of things, from the climate to the safety to the types of food you're comfortable with to the dressing codes. Yeah.
So I'm actually curious, how are you handling this flooding situation at the coast? Like I said, typically it's people who flood these areas over the festive season. You've been repeatedly telling us book in advance. Now, for those of us who are convinced there is no El Nino and so we booked certain destinations, how are you handling that?
So if you had already booked for that hotel and you can't push your reservations, just go enjoy the floods. Maybe it doesn't flood the same way it floods at your area, so
really? That's your advice, Ken? Basically, you're saying there's really nothing much you can do this late in the day.
Exactly. You know, there are hotels that you can't push your reservations and you have already paid. There are no refunds. If you ask for a refund, maybe you'll get half the amount. You know, most of the places, that's what they say. You can just go enjoy that swimming pool around the hotel. There's no, you know, it's nature. You have no control over nature. The same way you have no control over the dollar fluctuation. If you wake up today and the dollar is at 160, you just have to flow with the dollar. If you wake up today and it's El Nino, you had made your plans, there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah.
Okay, Ken?
As I can say now, when we say we cannot control the nature, how nature is bearing with us. So when you want to travel and you have already booked, as I said earlier, you can enjoy the floods, as Brenda said.
Yeah.
Because, or if we can advise for you, if we can push for you the dates earlier, or depending on how we're going to negotiate with the hotel and the reservations, you can always find you can open your flights. Maybe you want to travel, you can push your dates for another time. Or if you really don't want to push the dates, then it's okay, you can travel.
Okay, but generally, okay, so for many people it's complicated because they get time off during the festivities, but I'm guessing it would be cheaper to travel off peak. So for those who haven't booked their holidays for December, and maybe they have a few days in January, would you advise them to focus on January, less December?
Actually, most of the time, people who are traveling as families, that's when you find they're traveling during the holidays, because that's the December holidays, because the kids are at home. But minus the kids, if you want to travel, you can choose the Valentine's time. The packages are very nice. There's April holidays and also there's August.
Valentine's packages are nice.
Valentine's packages
But
are
I
very
normally
nice.
see something millions, you know, chopper, I mean helicopter
Depends with
flight
where you're looking.
and etc.
Depends.
But
Yeah.
I can say it depends with your pockets.
Yeah.
If maybe you have something good, then you prefer using a chopper, then it's good for you.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
All right, so do you have like minimum budgets? If somebody comes to you and of course you'll ask them, what's your budget, so that you can decide what type of holiday to curate for them. So what's the least amount I can walk through your door having?
Actually, I can't state an amount because I don't know what you call a holiday. You know, there's someone just going to the giraffe center with the family and later going to the safari drive. That's a holiday. And you won't even spend more than 20,000, including fuel and food. So I can't state an amount. Yeah, just come. I'll say we tailor-make. We can tailor-make your holiday. You just tell me what you want, what you have in mind, and I'm going to help you with that amount. Exactly.
Ken,
But
do you only deal with certain types of clients?
I can say we can discuss the amount you have, because it depends with if you're choosing a 5-star hotel, or maybe there is a good 3-star hotel. It doesn't have a difference when you're enjoying a 5-star hotel according to your pocket. So we'll always advise on on good places that you want to go, and according to the rates that you have.
All right, what are some of the frequently asked questions that you get around holidays around this festive season?
Most of the time it's about the flights. Also, countries that require visas, you can plan and you get a visa denial. And you had already planned ahead, you get. Yeah, so those are the main challenges or questions that we get. And yeah, that's where we come in now. You know, the way you were asking, you find it on the internet, why can't you do it on your own and you have the internet? So, you know, when you're working with a company that is used to doing these things, we know the do's and don'ts when it comes to the application of visas. Will help you even increase your chances of getting the approval. You get? Yeah, so that's where we advise, if you are in a position to use an agency, a trusted agency in this case, go for it. Yeah.
Ken?
Okay. The reason why, as I can say, Brenda has said, if we say that you want to choose us as an agency, there we come in as a actually travel. It means that you're eligible to go there, you as a person. But now, if at the end it's the embassy that's issuing the visa, yeah. So now we'll advise you accordingly on how you're going to maybe apply, and on how maybe you're going to, things are going to go well on your side on this and this and this. Then we guide you on there, because you can find you booking a flight to today is and you booking a flight tomorrow, you'll find that it's a bit cheaper on today than tomorrow. Yeah.
So you're saying most of the frequently asked questions by people who walk through your door or call your line is usually around visas?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you said what flights? Visas and flights?
Visas and flights.
Okay.
Those are mostly frequently asked questions.
Frequently asked questions. Yeah. Okay, Brenda, for a lot of people, like I said, people are set in their ways, and so for them around the festivities, they know ni kwenda ushago tupige chapati, watu wakule, you know, because not everybody has a lot of time off over that festive period because they have to make money. Do you find that culture is changing, that people are more actively looking for alternatives to that customary arrangement?
Yeah, actually, people have started with these, how should I call them, the day out, or how do I call them? You find that a whole family, from the guka, shosh, uncles, aunties, they don't choose to do it at home. They just go and book an open area, maybe in a hotel. They do the games, they play games, they choose teams and interact, but they'll still cook their chapatis, choma, their mbuzi. It's actually a good way of evolving. You don't have to go to Shosho's place and just, you know, that budget, you'll just add a few more coins to book an open area and have fun. You know, holidays are different with different people. You don't have to travel. Yeah, so I feel it's a nice thing that people are evolving. Also, spending time with family even at home, it's okay. But now you should sometimes mnachanga to just come as a family and decide. This time you don't want to do it in the normal way. You can start locally. In the next few years, continue saving, and then you can be able even to make international travel plans. Yeah.
Okay. Are you also witnessing the same thing, Ken?
What I can say is you'll find maybe your mother has never traveled even to a place, or maybe boarded a flight. So I'll advise, book a flight. It's not necessarily, it's a must for you to eat chapatis at the holiday when you go home. Find them somewhere to go, find them somewhere to travel, for them to enjoy their leisure.
Yeah. So again, for a lot of people, the things that put them off holidays is they think, Mimi, I can't afford it, or you know, soft life, or you know what I mean, that only a certain caliber of person goes for holidays. Is that mentality changing? How are you helping raise awareness that there are options for everyone depending on your budget?
Actually, if people just decide to research or come talk to me, you'll realize how affordable these trips are. I was one of the people who used to say, hey, need to me 50,000 nipande ndege, sijui what, that 50,000 I'll use it in Mombasa for a whole 1 month. Actually, when you come to realize or come to do the math, it's not even as expensive as people think. They should just come out of that cocoon, just come open, like be flexible, just listen, go find out, just get out of the house, come sit down, let's talk. You don't have even to travel, just come and listen. You'll realize how affordable those trips are. They're not exaggerated or overpriced. Yeah, they're not expensive. They're not just for the rich as people think. They're very affordable.
Ken, do you agree with Brenda?
Yeah, I
Do you
agree.
think that mentality is shifting?
Somehow it's shifting because we find that most of the people now, we are copying the Western culture. So I can say most of the people are now evolving in terms of travel, because you'll find Wazungus, some of the Wazungus in Ushagos, what they're doing, they are traveling because they want to explore the nature and they want to explore the traditions you guys have. So you'll find that if these Wazungus comes and go there, let's say white people or white guys, they go to the villages, they also raise awareness as well.
Okay, but I'm guessing majority still come in looking to go to the traditional destinations, either safari. Do you find the appetite is the same in the domestic market as it is with visitors coming from outside the country in terms of what they want to do and what they want to see? Brenda?
What I'd say about that, you know, people want to tour to things they are not used to seeing. If a Mzungu wants to go see the Maasais jumping, it's not the same thing I want to. I've grown up seeing these things, you get. Yeah, so if they're coming to see that and they enjoy seeing the safari, I think I've been seeing the lions for the last, I think, 15 years. I'm used to seeing that. What I'd want to know is to see the beaches in a different country. I'd want to learn their culture. I'd want to taste their foods. So it just depends on what you want to explore exactly, or experience. Yeah, it can't be the same. Not since the Wazungus are going to the safari, going to see the Maasais. I don't have to do that. Yeah, we can always do something different. Yeah, we can go and learn their culture. They don't have to just come and tie the Maasai lessons. We can go to the Indian culture and tie the Indian attire, you get. Yeah, so I always advise people, just be ready to explore, be ready to learn new things, treat yourself. You've been working from January to December. Save that small amount of money and treat yourself, you know.
Okay,
yeah.
We've contributed enough tax. I'm kidding.
But
Ken,
yeah.
But are there, like, what are some of the popular destinations? I'm guessing Dubai, you guys have mentioned Diani.
You have Singapore as an option as well. You have UK, of course. Now you guys, as the way we like watching football, can always travel to UK and watch these footballers playing. Yeah, you can always travel to a lot of places. You can always travel to Brazil and experience their culture. You can travel to US, depending on how you guys, the person will like, or how he will want to be advised, or if he says, I want to go to this place.
Tunaweza enda US tukose kurudi. But again, I'm just kidding. So basically what I'm hearing is that there are options available depending on your budget, and this is just not the preserve overview.
Yeah, there's always a budget. There's always a place for your budget. We can even mention African countries like South Africa. Recently, it's now a visa-free country. You don't have to go outside Africa for your first trip. You can start small. If you've explored Kenya, you've gone to Diani, you've gone to Kisumu, Naivasha, Nanyuki, start with South Africa. It's a visa-free country. There, you can learn their culture, go learn their dances, you know, and it's budget friendly, it's pocket friendly actually. Yeah, so just have your budget, get to know what you want, start with your preference, what you want, your budget, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy your holidays.
Okay, but what about more practical things like maybe not buying the coffee at the airport because it's very expensive? Do you have more practical advice? I'm guessing you guys travel as well as part of your job.
Yeah.
Ken?
Okay, when you say at the airport, that's always your starting point for your journey. So if you find you have time and feel your pocket is okay, airport of course is always, most of the airports are always expensive, and they always have these restaurants. So if you really want to enjoy yourself, the serenity at the airport is okay, yeah, the ambience also. can always enjoy that.
Okay, so again, depends on your budget. Yeah. Last word on this issue.
About that question, I think I'd also advise, when it comes to buying stuff, I think it's cheaper to buy things in your country. For instance, the attires or the bikinis, the hats. You know, I've traveled to a country like Dubai, and you go to a mall, a single this cover-up, I'd get it in Kenya for 1,500. But when you look at the price tag in Dubai, it's close to 5,000. The same attire. So those small advices, make sure you buy most of your things here, the things that you're going to use. If you want to buy other things, maybe there are things you just want to buy and remember, or something you've loved in that country, maybe you had budgeted for that. But when it comes to buying, the same way you've said, buying a coffee, a cup of coffee in the airport. If your budget is not for that, toka umeshiba. If your flight doesn't offer the food, maybe the package you've paid for doesn't offer, toka umeshiba. You know, you're saving. You know, the whole point is saving that small amount of money. Yeah, so make sure you buy most of your things in the country. But if your pocket allows to go and shop there, it's okay. You get. Yeah, so bottom line, or the final words, just treat yourself. Work with a trusted agency. Go talk to that travel consultant even for your next year's holiday, for you to be able to plan early. Yeah.
All right, your last word. Kenji, if you offer airport transfers, so it's cheaper to get onto a boda with a suitcase or an Uber.
Of course, when you're going to airports, you really don't expect to find a boda. But in some cases, maybe there are airports that maybe there are bodas. But you'll always find taxis there, and maybe you can always be picked at the airport. Yeah.
All right. Your last one?
Also to add on that, maybe, as Brenda had said earlier, maybe you want to travel to South Africa. Also, South Africa has a direct flight from South Africa to Brazil. So maybe you can also take your destination is from South Africa going to Brazil as well.
All right. So you can do like multiple destinations.
Yeah, you can do multiple destinations.
All right. So I want to thank my panelists this morning. Brenda Gatonya, travel expert, Worth Start Africa. We'll have Ken Saina in studio. He is a Sai Voyage Africa travel consultant. Thank you for this, for those tips and tricks. I suppose for some of us who have not planned, January. Have yourself a good morning. That is your world.